standing upside down with that thing. Look over there. Is that one upside down?
Yeah. Tim's a hey man.
Hey, Uncle Ned.
He usually says it with a H.
Oh,
M-A-D.
Well, that's just like Donald said that Tanya's family name is Cannon. You still got an old dog out there?
Huh?
You got a dog out there?
Yeah. Well, I ain't seen her this morning. It was raining late yesterday evening. She didn't even come out. When she ain't sleeping in that drum down on the porch, she sleeps out there in the hall in the barn.
Uh-huh.
And it's raining and pretty cold, and I just figured she didn't come out. But I ain't seen her this morning.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether there must be something dead around here, 'cause for the last 2 or 3 days now, she ain't eat nothing much. I put feed out there for her late every evening, and she'll eat just a few bites of it and leave it. And I figure there must be something dead around here somewhere. She's getting something to eat somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And she y'all didn't see her when you come up here.
No, I was
ain't
looking.
seen her this morning. I went and looked in that drum, and she wasn't in that drum.
Uh-oh.
What did I lock off there?
What did you knock off?
Just my battery thing there. It's just my battery.
I'd love to see somebody else do something like that, and let me know I ain't the only one that do it.
No, everybody drops something sometime.
No, I tell you, I'm on a deal with Larry Smith up there. I got some land between the old road going down that hill down in this new road. And see, Elaine claims about half of it, but it ain't. He don't own none of it, but he claimed he owned. And Larry come up here. He's been up here a time or two. He wanted to buy that strip of land, that 2 acres in it all together. That strip between the old road and the old dirt road and the asphalt roads. And he come up in just the evening and told me he wanted to buy it. He wanted to close the deal, and I told him, I said, well, I got a prospective buy for the whole place. And I had told him I'd sell him that for $1,500. And I says, if I sell the whole place, the man, the prospective buyer, if he buys it, I says, he's gonna pay me $1,000 an acre for it, for all of my land. And I said, wait a few days, and he must have had been talked to a lawyer, because he come up here and asked me if I was ready to close the deal. And I don't know. Cecil's name was claimed about half of that strip of land.
Well, it's in your name, isn't it? Isn't it?
Huh?
It's in your name, isn't it?
Yep.
You have a deed to it?
I tell you though, I've told several people, I'd give him the whole damn strip if he's trying to sell his place. And about half of that fish pond down there is on my land. I'd give him the water rights to it. And he's wanting to buy a strip of land on this side of that pond now, Because the people that he's negotiating with to sell his whole place to them, they don't want to buy it with half of that pond on my land. And I told Larry yesterday, I said, I'd give him a couple acres on this side of that if he'd move out of Jasper County when he sells that place. I said, Jasper County smell better with him gone. Trucking truck. He liked to joke about this man. He was a rich man and he owned a big farm, and he just kept moving his fences lines back. And they got him in court. And they asked him, he says, why do you keep on moving back on other folks' land? He said, well, I don't want all the land is in the country. Said, I just want all the joining me. Well, if you get part of this land joining, they steal somebody else's land joining, you just keep it expanded. I knew we'd be satisfied no more, nowhere. Nowhere. Why don't you come down and live with me? I need somebody to live with me.
I might.
Go back home, get your clothes, and come on back. I'm gonna tell you, I've thought about that a lot. If I had somebody to live here with me, it wouldn't be so lonesome.
Yeah.
You ought to get out there and find you a young wife somewhere. Somebody about 25, 30 years old can keep up with you.
My wife's sister, her oldest sister next to her, she lived down at Albany. And her husband been dead probably 10, 12 years. And her and some of her friends come by here last year. They'd been up around Gainesville to some of their friends that lived up there. And they stopped out there, and I had watermelons out there. A truckload of watermelons I just shot. And she's 10 years younger than me. She said, Robert said, why in the world don't you get married again? I said, I wish y'all, there was two more ladies with me. I said, I wish y'all would listen to who's talking. I said, she's 10 years younger than me. And her husband been dead twice longer than my wife has. About twice as long. And I said, she ain't never married again. So I said, she's living down there by herself. And she said, well, says, I've been cooking and keeping house all my life. And says, up until my father died, says, you've been doing outside work and she done inside work. Well, I said, the only kind of woman that would marry me is some old crippled, disabled woman that had to be waited on. And I said, I don't need nobody to wait on. I need somebody to wait on me. I said, I don't need somebody else to wait on. And I said, that's the only kind of person that would marry an old man like me. See, I'll be 89 years old this September.
Yep. Yeah, I keep up with how old you are. I know you was born in 1906. You was born in 1906.
1906, the 12th of September, yeah. I'll be 89. And you know, you may not believe this, some days I walk 6 miles. When I had that gallstone surgery, gallbladder surgery, that was 6, 7, 8 years ago. Dr. Newton down at Macon, he was done it, operated on. and he's an old man. He cusses all the time. He can make you so darn mad if you wasn't sick or disabled, you get up and slap him. Kick him one. And Junior knows him. And about just a few days after I had surgery, Julia was staying down there with me. And they had a little old intern. Julia'd be on one side holding one arm, that old intern on the other. And they'd make me walk up and down them hall 2 hours every morning, 2 hours every evening. And he come in there one morning and sat down on the side of the bed. Said, I'm gonna let you go home tomorrow in the morning. And he says, now damn it, says, I don't want you to go home and sit down. Says, I want you to walk every day just like you've been walking in this hospital. And I told him, I said, well, I work a little old garden mostly in the summertime and the spring of the year, and I said, I've been cutting and splitting firewood every winter. The damn day that you work, do some kind of work that you don't need to walk. And I told him, I said, I live by myself and I got a pretty good sized yard. I have to water grass in the yard. The days you work, do some kind of active work, says you don't need to walk. But he says, if you don't do some kind of work, says I want you to get out there and walk. I says, how far you want me to walk? 4 miles a day. He says, now I know you may not can walk 4 miles the first day. But he says, you walk down the first day, you walk down the road till you get feeling pretty fatigued, and says, you turn around and come back to the house, but says, you remember where you turned around at. And the next morning you walk a little further. And if you do that every morning, says, in 30 days I want you to be walking 4 miles a day. He says, and I don't want you making no excuses. He says, damn it, if it ain't raining or freezing cold or pouring down rain or thunder lightning popping right overhead, says, damn it, you get out there and walk. And he turned around and started to the door. He got near to the door and he turned around and come back. He says, another thing, I don't want you guessing it 4 miles neither. He says, you drive your damn vehicle down the road 2 miles by the speedometer. You put it outside the road and park it, and you get out and walk back home, and then if you want your damn vehicle, you walk back and get it.
Whoa. He's serious.
Yeah, I tell you, that old man's the best, but you know what? I've thought about it lots of times. If I had to have surgery tomorrow, I'd want him to do it.
Yeah.
But when I'm out there walking, I call him a fool. I say,
Oh, yeah.
old fool. Want me to walk 4 miles this way every day. Get out here and walk like this. And then when I get thinking about a man that's 88 years old, going on 89 years old, and walking 4 miles a day,
Yeah.
there ain't 1 out of 10 that are people that old can do
I
that.
know. That's
And
keeping
if I
you
had been
going.
walking all these years since then, I couldn't.
That's right.
And I get thinking about how much better condition I'm physically I'm in than I was when I started that walking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's pretty darn smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't cut no firewood anymore, do you?
I ain't cutting down this one like I could. I tell you what stopped me from cutting it. Brad Musser up there around the small Indian shop, he ain't cutting on this shit. There's 2 or 3 people here in the county. And one, I was looking in this, one of selling news come Thursday. I want to show you, give you an idea now what I'm talking about. minute, I don't see it now. Firewood for sale, Tom Miller. He don't quote no price. Firewood for sale, call Larry. He don't quote no price. Firewood for sale, $35 delivered, $30 if you pick you up a load now. $35 delivered for a pickup load of wood. $30 if you come and get it. And there's another place in there. Leslie, now who was that? Donnie Pope's one. Firewood for sale, Donnie Pope. $40 per load. Well, I've been getting $50 here at the yard, here at the house, and $60 up to 10 miles if I delivered it. And heck, I ain't getting out of cutting up there in wood. The wood's worth more than that. Standing out there in the trees, standing out there in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I can sell the salt timber and get that much for it.
Yep.
$30 a dang load.
Mm-hmm.
There's half a dozen places in the county here. Runs ads in the paper. One ad in there was $28 a pickup load.
It's pretty cheap.
I want you to tell me about your whiskey still.
Huh?
I want you to tell me about your whiskey still you used to have.
What?
Your whiskey still that you had back then there.
Oh, that whiskey still?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I was trying to pay for this place. And when I moved out here in 1943, I moved in the first day of January. And that 22-acre field up yonder, that year I planted from here to that gully down there in cotton. In 1943, and that field up yonder where Adam McMichael trailer's at. I sold about 5 acres of oak up there. And all my children were school age. Junior, he was 12 years old. He was the oldest one of them. And Junior and Joe and Biddy, they'd help me in the milking the cow, but they was having to go to school. Well, out there farming, row cropping, what you can do 9 months in a year, you can do it 12 months in a year. Well, the children would be in school 9 months in a year, but they could get up and help me milk cows every morning and go to school and then come back and help me that in the evening. So long up in June or July, old Farmer Peniel, he was the head of this Piedmont project. And see, when I moved here, I was trying to rent note. But I was told by the man that this was a federal man that I was working under out there on the old damn gun place. Mr. Woods, he lived in Atlanta. This is what they call Homeland Finance Company. And he told me, he says, the thing for you to do in the fall of 1942, says, the thing for you to do, you go out there and pick you out one of them projects on Piedmont project. So them places are going to be sold next year, sometime during next year. It says whoever's living on them places will have first choice at buying them. So I come out here and they come out here and they showed me all these places. The ones that people was talking about moving from. And they're all back off on dirt road, wagon road. And that was a good farm I was working out, John. All the land I wanted to work, I paid $1 an acre rent for it. And $6 a month for the house. I mean, $6 a month for the house and barn and garden. And we got back down on about where the line of my land goes. And they told me, says, now the fellow Follendore lives up here on the left. It says, it's been rumored that he's gonna move, but says he ain't told me yet. That old Plummer Pender. And I told him when we got out there, I said, well, I'd like that place better than any place you always showed me. But I says, if he comes in there and tell you he's gonna move, I says, you let me know. So about a week so after that, he come out there and told me, he says, Mr. Follendore coming there yesterday and told me he's moving the first day of January. But then they was people that lived on these places was renting them. So I went up there and signed the rent note. And when the same day that Follendore moved out me, I moved in here. And well up in June, he sent me a damn card. Wanted to come up to his office. His office is up over Gun Supply building up there in Monticello, upstairs. And I went up there, and boy, he just chewed me out. Old Pena, he was a big old, I think he weighed 240, 50 pounds. I just sat there and kept a swallowing. He said, people talking about that fine field of land laying out up there, growing up in grass and weeds. Says, you ought to have it in cotton or corn or something other. And I told him, I said, Mr. Pennell, I told you before I moved out there that I couldn't work no full-time row crop, and I'd have to make it with cows and livestock, hogs and stuff. Well, I had a 3-acre hog pasture right down there. And that was during the war, and the government was asking farmers to produce as much meat and lard as they could. One time I had 53 head of hogs choked down there in that 3-acre pasture. He said, well, people is talking about it. That fine field of land growing up in weeds. And I done sat there and took all I could, swallowed all I could swallow. I says, who's doing the damn talking? And he slipped up and said, Mr. Amos. Well, I'd been told before I moved out here that old Amos was a pimp, the old Pena. If people didn't do what they ought to do or done something they ought not to, old Amos found it out, he'd run up there and tell old Pena. And I told him, I says, he says, Pena, he says, Mr. Amos, he says, all them people that lives out there. I says, all right. I says, I'm going to tell you something down there. I says, you tell that so-and-so if he won't, he better keep his nose out of my business. Don't me and him both ain't going to be able to live out there together. And I says, I intend to stay. And he jumped up and started around the desk. And I whipped my knife out and I said, let me tell you something. I said, you come around the end of that desk, I said, I'm going to spill your guts right down there in that damn floor. And I would have done it too. He stopped, he said, Ain't nobody come in my office and talk to me. I says, well, by God, I don't usually let people talk to me like you been talking to me neither. And, so he took himself back around over there and sat down. I says, let me tell you something there, old man. I says, you may throw me out that window, but if you don't break my back, I'm gonna come back. Up here. Well, that was the last conversation I ever had with him. Drusilla Ezel, the sheriff's wife, she was working in there as a secretary. He'd send her out him. And I knew all that he wanted was one excuse to have me moved, or make me move off from out here. Well, we were supposed to pay so much a year. And Mr. Fullendore, before I moved out here, I come out here, he done went to work at fuse plant down in Macon. And I come out here one morning, and it was about 9:30, I reckon, and Miss Fullendore come at the door. And I told her I wanted to talk to Mr. Fullendore, and she told me, she says, he works at night, and says, he don't get home till about 2 o'clock in the morning, but says, it's about time for him to get up anyhow. And I said, well, I don't want you to wake him up. It ain't time for him to get up. And he got up and put on his clothes. Me and him went out there and sat down under a big old oak tree out there. And I told him, I said, Mr. Fullendore, I said, I'm going to ask you some questions now. It's personal. And I said, if you don't want to answer them, I said, just tell me it ain't none of my business. I said, I won't think hard of it. But I said, I understand that you've been living here 6 years. And you can't move a can, you can't move a milk can, you can't move a pig, you can't move a calf. The only thing you can move off from here is your furniture in your house. He says, that's right. I said, well, now they trying to tell me that I can make a go of it. And I said, my children's about the same age as yours. And I says, if you done got some fur in debt for 6 months, 6 years, if they gonna force you to move, I says, how am I gonna make a go of it? And he told me, he says, well, I'm gonna tell you something now. Says, if I had known 6 years ago what I know now, says, I wouldn't know the government would die. But he says, you see that little chicken house out there? Says, old Pena talked me into putting 250 baby chickens in that chicken house. And says, I had never grown no baby chickens that way. And says, the little old chicken house might have been big enough for 50. And says, when they got up way around a pound apiece, there's so crowded in there, says, half of them started dying. And says, I wound up with about half of them to sell for fries. And says they shipped in a carload of old cows from up north somewhere, up in Atlanta, and says he got a car with about 5 or 6 of us to go up there and buy some of them cows. And he says, he insisted on me buying 5, and says them cows sold for $200 and $300 a head. And old man, I can't call his name right now. The old man lived over on that used to go. He went up there with him, and he wouldn't buy no cow. He wouldn't buy none of them. And Mr. Fullendore told me, he said, when they left the sale, them cows shipped in there with a rail freight car. Said he stopped and told him, says, I'll buy all y'all a dinner, a lunch now. That bought cows, and says, one that didn't buy no cows, I don't buy him nothing. It says in the year's time, less than 2 years, says them 5 cows that I paid about $1,500 for, Says I sold them bacon for $40 a piece. They was eat up with mastitis. And says, old Peniel will get you just as far in debt as he can, and then when he gets you in debt just as far as he can, says he cut you off to like turning off a light. You know. So I went on, moved on out here. And I found just what Mr. Fellow was telling me was right. So I knew if I ever got behind with my payments on the place that he'd have me moved off. So for a year or two, Charles Emmons run an ice house up here in town, and he was buying blackberries for a winery in Atlanta. And me and Metaphor and Junior and Betty and Joe. Now Julie Mae was little, but we'd go back down there to Atlanta. Where Cecil lived down there, this fellow Whitmire lived down there then. And we'd go down there in the evening and pick a 10-gallon can full of blackberries. And the next morning I'd take them up there and sell them for $10. Well, I knew the old truth seller, she'd come out here. Mr. Johnston, why don't you cut them weeds out John around the edge of that yard? I said, listen, I got all the weed working I can do back yonder in the fields, in row crops. And I was working about 15 acres of creek bottom back yonder in corn, and I planted Kentucky Wonder beans. And on Monday, like I'd go to Cleveland Cotton Mill when that stuff started to bad. And I was selling these stores up here in town, all I could sell them. And when they was packing peaches, when I'd go around town, put off all I could, I'd go out that packing shed and get about 5 or 6 bushels of cured peaches. And I'd buy them peaches for $1 a bushel in curd. And I'd take them around on the route with me. If I didn't sell them, I brought them back and set them on the platform, and the next morning I paid them for the ones I sold, because they was going to dump them in the house. So I decided I'd try to make me some easy money. And Fonda Hardeman is living over there on where Freddie Batts is living now. And me and him got talking one day. He said, I tell you what let's do. He said, let's put us up a liquor still and make some liquor. Well, my daddy used to make liquor when I was a young boy. And anybody can make liquor if they can make the beer. That's the secret in making liquor, is making the beer. If I could set up some barrels of beer down there, and I could tell you how to go down there and make the liquor. But I couldn't tell you how to go down there and make the beer. And so we went over to Griffin, not Griffin, Forsyth, and bought about I had cattle bodies on my truck, and we went over there and we got 2 truckloads of 60-gallon barrels and put them down there. Then we bought us a cooker. And then we got a 10-gallon tank with a valve stem in it. And we take a bicycle pump and pump air up in there and fill that thing up with kerosene, and that's why you heat the beer, the still. We set it up on the branch across the creek on the upper first side of my place. But we put it just a little over the line. And so we run off a bunch of liquor. I said $10 a gallon. I figured we could make it for $2 a gallon. And, Junior and John Knight, they found out we was making liquor over there, and so they wanted to get in on it. So they went and got them a barrel, and they put them up a barrel of beer. I'd show them how to do it. And down there at this old trading place down here, there was an old house. There was an old house on one side of the road and an old house place on the other side, and an old dug well. And that well over there on the right hand side had caved in, and weeds and grass and stuff had growed up around it. Well, there was a helicopter come across here, and they was looking for liquor steel. And they spotted our liquor steel down there. So they notified the federal revenue men, and they come out there and drove the car around there behind that old barn, and that old well had filled up, caved in, and it like about that much being filled up to the top. And they run in that front end of that car in that dang old well, and they couldn't get out, so they went up there and got the wrecker from town, and the guy that come out there and pulled them out, he heard them talking. It done got night then, about night, and he said they told him, well, says the report was that liquor steel was on a direct line between old Piedmont Schoolhouse and Hillsborough. And says we could find it. Says we can figure out where the line would be. And says it's done too late to go back in there now. I said it's near about night when they got the car out of that old well. So that guy come out here that night and told me I had been selling him whiskey. Hell, we've been operating it a year and a half.
What year was that?
That was around about 1946 or 7 like that. And I'd done got in pretty good shape by that time. Hell, I've done bought me a new John Deere tractor, planters, cultivators, harrows, tillers, fertilizer spreaders, and so he told me, says, said it's on a direct line between Piedmont Schoolhouse and Hillsborough. He says, I figured it had to be somebody on this side over on that Event Road one. And says, you the first somebody that I talked to about it. And I of course, I didn't tell him it was mine. I said, well, if I can find out who it belonged to, I'll notify him. So I went over there next morning and I told Fonzo husband, I said, don't you go back there and answer that deal. I said, them guys gonna be down there watching him. And but heck, we've been operating it 2 years. And we had the paint dammed up. And they had a condenser down in the paint there, and that copper pipes come from the boiler over to the beer barrel, cooker. Then copper pipe went down into the condenser. We had a plank, 2-inch plank holding it down. Trenches cut back into each bank, and the water was 2 or 3 feet deep in there. And we had a hole bored through that plank there, that copper pipe coming out of the condenser. But when that steam coming out of that liquor beer barrel, it come out as steam. When it goes through that condenser, it comes out in liquid. It's liquor. And there's a little old patch of bushes right across the road, a branch from the steel, and I don't know, 3 or 4 evenings after that guy come out here and told me, I was out there milking one evening, and I heard a blast, boom! I said, uh-oh, there goes my steel. So, I waited about 2 days, and my pasture fence was just below that place. And I said, I'm going over there and see. I said, I know they done blowed it up, but if they over there, I can tell them I was looking for a cow. Well, I said, I won't get over the fence. So I went around up there, and sure enough, it was all blowed up. The barrels all busted and everything. And I waited a while, and I went over there one day, and I went up that fence, up there where the steel is at. And them little bushes is about that high over there. And I bet you there was a garbage bag full of tin cans that them damn jokers had camped out over there gonna catch us when we come in there. Drink cans, potted meat, plain of sausage, stuff like that, cans there. Hell, they'd been camping that day and night. But I waited 2 or 3 weeks before I went out there.
What kind of proof was that liquor?
Huh?
What was the proof on that liquor you made?
What was what?
Proof.
It'd run over 100 proof. And I'm gonna tell you, I've talked to lots of people about this. Now, you go up in these liquor stores up here in town, and you can buy liquor up there at 86 proof. There ain't no way you can run liquor under 100 proof. You can't distill it under 100 proof.
What do they do, water it down?
They water it down, yeah. And we'd water ours down, but we wouldn't roll it down much under 100 proof. See, we had a tester. And what we'd do, we'd bring the liquor back down below the old steel place on that same branch. And we had a 10-gallon keg down there. And we'd pour about 5 or 6 gallons of water in that liquor in that keg, and then get water up out the branch and take it down to about 100 proof. And by that time, I done got on my feet. Mama, she went to wake up there in the sewing room, and she's making up to buy the groceries and all the to buy the children's clothes and all. And by that time, I tell you, I've thought about it a lot of times. I've been lucky in my life, especially my adult life. I started off when I first started milking cows. Well, I done fed them damn cows I bought with beef Orlando had in. They was all dry. I done fed them $300 worth of damn feed before I shipped a 10-gallon can full of milk. And there wasn't but about, you didn't have about 25 cows. And when I bought the 2-horse wagon and a pair of mules, and I had a horse that I moved out in. And I had one milk cow. And I started off selling milk down at Eatonton Co-op Creamery down there. Well, after a short period of time, I found out I could get more for it at Miss George's Dairies in Atlanta. So I switched over up there. And they'd pay us every 16th of the month. We'd get a milk check on every 16th of the month. If 16th fell on Sunday, we'd get it on Saturday. Well, I was buying feed from Chick Wilson up here. And after I bought my tractor, and I had a hammer mill, and me and John Rogers, we'd swap weight. And he, in the hay business, I'd go in and help him cut, rake his hay. He'd bring his stuff over in and help me cut and rake mine. And we'd get somebody to pay it. Well, I was growing corn, and in bottom, I'd take a truck body and fill it up full of ear corn and put 4 or 5 bales of hay on top of the truck, on top of that corn. And take it up there, and Chick Wilson has a hammer mill, a feed mill up there. They'd grind it. They'd grind that corn and that hay, and then they'd put carbohydrates and cotton seed meal and stuff in there and make a 16% dairy feed out of it. Well, when I'd get my milk check on the 16th of the month, I'd go up there the next morning and I'd pay my feed bill. And Chick Wilson knew my granddaddy well. Of course, my granddaddy was dead then. But I went there one morning, and he called me Rabbit all the time. He said, Rabbit, he said, I'm going to make a suggestion to you. I says, what is that? He says, instead of you paying this feed bill, he says, you take that money and go up there to the hub and buy you a couple of cows. You can buy Jersey and Guernsey cows then for $40 to $65 a head. There wasn't no Holstein cows come out to nothing. That's what they went up there and bought was Holsteins up there and paid $300 a piece for them and wound up selling them for 40. And I told him, I said, well, I said, I'd appreciate that, Mr. Wilson. But I says, now, don't let me get several $100s in debt and then you demand me to pay it all at one time because my milk check won't be that big. He said, but the more cows you milking, the bigger your milk check gonna be. The more cows you milking, the more milk you're gonna be selling. Well, he had a point. I've thought about it a lot of times. The more cows I was milking, the more damn feed I was gonna be buying from him too. And he says, I told him, I said, well now, whenever I get as far in debt as you want me to go, I said, you tell me and then I'll start putting my milk check on my feed bill. Well, I went on and I'd done run about $1,600–1,800 feed bill up there. And but that time I'd been buying 1 or 2 cows every month. And I was milking twice as many cows by that time as I was when I quit paying my feed bill every month. And my milk check was twice as big. I went up there one morning, I'd got my milk check, and I told him, I said, Mr. Wilson, I says, I appreciate what you've done for me. I says, it sure helped me a lot. But I says, I'm done got scared of what I owe you myself. I says, I don't know how you feel about it, but I said, I want to put this milk check on my feed bill. He says, well, he says, if that's what you want to do, he says, I'll agree with it, I'll take it. But he says, I ain't worried about it. He says, I know your granddaddy well. And he says, he was a man that you could trust, you could depend on. I said, well, I said, let me put this on you, pay some on this feed bill. And I said, maybe next month I'll go buy another cow too. So I moved up from about 25, 30 cows to 100. And my milk check was 4 times as big as it was when I started buying that feed, taking that, instead of paying that feed bill going, well, my feed bill didn't cost no more. You know, it wouldn't cost me no more than it would if I'd been paying cash for it. But I was buying cows and I was milking 4 times as many cows as I was when I started buying that feed.
Was you milking all them cows by hand?
Huh?
You milking them all by?
No, I done bought a milking machine when I got up to about 40 cows. I put a milking machine right there. We hadn't milked them about a year. And I've been lucky in the equal ways.
I want you to tell me about that time you fell out of your truck.
Well, that's after I started drinking liquor. Because when I moved here, I hadn't drank a bottle of beer in 6 years. Drank of whiskey. But I'd get up there in the morning 3:30 and go out there and start milking. And after about 6, 8 months, I'd been living him. That old man lived back there making liquor. And he's selling bootleg liquor. And I got to think about it. I said, I'm going to go down there and get me a gallon of liquor. And I'm going to put it out there in the barn, and every morning, when I go out there, I'm going to take me a drink. And then when I get through milking, come back to the house to eat breakfast, I'll take me another swallow. Well, I done that for 2 or 3 months. Then I got to going out there between times taking a drink. I done that for a few months, and then I got filling me up a pint bottle full and putting it in the truck. And I'd take it with me. And over a period of time, that's the way it goes on. Let me tell you, one drink of liquor calls for another. You might take 1 or 2 drinks, you might take 1 drink like that soon in the morning for a few weeks, and then you go want more, and then you start taking 2 drinks, and a few more weeks you want 3. And in a short period of time, you be keeping a bottle with you all the time, and every time you think. Well, I know I was a straight alcoholic. I'd fill me a bottle, he'd set me a bottle of liquor in there by the side of my bed every night. And when I'd go to bed, I'd go to sleep, and I'd wake up sometime maybe 12 or 1 o'clock. And if I didn't take a drink of liquor, I'd lay right there all the rest of that night, never sleep another wink. I could reach away and get that bottle and take 1 big slug and be asleep in 3 minutes. And so that's where I got started to get back to drinking. And I'm going to tell you something now, mister. If you think quitting smoking cigarettes is hard, you get to be an alcoholic and try to stop drinking liquor.
How How long did you drink like that?
Hmm?
How long did you drink like that?
I started in the fall of 1943. And in 1965 was when I tried to quit drinking liquor. Well, I quit milk, quit dairying in 1965. So I drank from the fall of 1943 to 1965. That was about 22 years.
See, I don't remember any of that, but I would have been about 10 years old when you quit. I was about 10 years old in 65.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember any of that.
And I called myself gonna quit drinking. I'd been in the hospital several times, and Dr. Pritchard up there, he told me, says, if you don't quit drinking liquor, says, it's gonna kill you. Says, you ain't gonna live much longer. And Peanut Malone used to work at the post office down there. And Homer Layson was running that down at the filling station right there. And back at that filling station, was the post office right back of there. And old Peanut would keep a bottle of liquor out there in the utility room there by that filling station. And he'd come up there several times, every so often, and take a drink of liquor. Dr. Pritchard told me out there, said, Peanut died. And I'd been on a bad drunk, and I was up there in the hospital, and Dr. Pritchard, he come in and told me, he said, Robert, he says, when Peanut Malone died, he says, I'm going to tell you what killed him. He says he had drank so much liquor till his liver had done got so big, says his liver was resting on his bladder. It says his liver just filled him up. His heart, his liver got filled him up so tight that his heart couldn't beat. He says, when you come in here the other night, says you just before getting in the same shape he was in. And he says, if you get that shape again now, he says, I don't want you to come back to this hospital. He says, you go somewhere else. He says, it's a bad reputation for a doctor in a hospital for a patient to come in and die right quick. And he says, that's what's going to happen if you get in that shape again. He says, I know you can get drunk one more time, and you know you can. But he said, I got serious doubts if you can get over it again. And he said, if you get in that shape again, says, don't come back. Let me tell you something, when the doctor talks to you like that, you listen at him too. So I come home. I said, well, I ain't gonna drink no more. Well, I'd go up there and Red McMichael, Bud Thompson, Preacher Roper, a bunch of them guys I'd been drinking with all the time. They'd always have a bottle of liquor around in their cars, sitting in the bathroom somewhere. Come on, let's take a drink. I said, no, I don't want no. What's the matter, you mad with me? I said, no, I ain't mad with you. Well, how come you won't take a drink of liquor with me? He says, I ain't done nothing to you. They'd think I was mad with them if I wouldn't take a drink of liquor with them. And I finally I said, well, okay, I said, I'll take one little swallow with you. Well, you know that one swallow called for another. So I quit going to town. Unless it's just necessary. Gene Russell had just opened that store up there now. He'd been operating 9 months. And Roy was working down at J.P. Stevens, John Wright was working down at J.P. Stevens Woolen Mill. And John Ryder stopped there at Jean's store every so often. But his business had done got bigger than he could handle by himself. And he had hired one of them Freeman boys up there to help him. And that boy was stealing and blind. And so Jean was trying to hire John Wright to come down there and help him in the store. And John Wright told him one day, says, Daddy ain't doing nothing, says he done quit milking cows. Says he might come down and help you. He told John Wright, says, tell your dad to come down and talk to him. And I went down there. See, Jean would open up at 6 o'clock every morning, and he'd stay open till 10 o'clock that night. And he told me, he says, I'll give you $50 a week to come down here and open up every morning at 6 o'clock and stay here till 10 o'clock that morning. He says, I'll pay you and get here by 10 o'clock and you can go home. Now I told him, I said, well now, I says, I ain't never worked in a place like this. And I says, it's gonna take me a while to learn where stuff is at. And he had one of these jot 'em down stores all around the wall. He had these shelves all full of stuff, and all around the wall there's 2 or 3 layers of stuff that high, something like that far from the wall. Well, he knew where the stuff was at because he put it there.
Yeah, I remember that store. I remember you working there.
Well, I went down there and went to work for him. And at 10 o'clock, instead of me coming home, I'd walk around in the store there a couple of hours trying to learn where stuff was at. And so he told me one morning, when he coming in, he said, Mr. Johnston says, if you go stay here until 12 o'clock, he says, let me pay you more money and you stay here until 12 o'clock every day. So he told me to give me $75 a week, raised me from $50 a week to $75, and me open up at 6 o'clock and stay there till 12. Well, at 12 o'clock, I'd still stay there. And walk around and look at where stuff was at, and if customers come in there, I'd wait on them. If it got crowded. So the salesman coming over one day, he says, Mr. Johnston said, I thought you were supposed to get off at 12 o'clock. It was about between 1 and 2 o'clock now. I says, I do get off, but I says, I'm still trying to learn where stuff is at. I says, people come in here and ask me where stuff is at, and I don't know more where it's at than they do. He says, you never will learn just walking around here looking. He says, I tell you what you do. He says, you start putting up stock. And says, won't be but a few weeks till you know where everything in here is at. So I told Jean, I says, I tell you, I says, I want you to start letting me put up stock. We had a storage room back there in the back. And when I'd get off at 12 o'clock, I'd replace stuff that was getting short.
A truck dragging you.
Well, that's when I was started. When after Chick Wilson told me to quit taking money and buy cows instead of putting it on my feed bill. So I loaded up filled the truck body up full of ear corn, put 4 or 5 bales of hay on there when he'd by the time he'd mix ingredients in there, cottonseed meal and stuff in there to make a 16% dairy feed. But then it'd be a ton of it. Well, when I'd do that, I'd take my side cattle bodies and put on the truck, and then put the corn and hay in there. And I carried that stuff up there one morning and got them to grind it, mix it up. And I left my truck there in town, up at the filling station. Bud Thompson, when I come back up there, Bud was there, and he had a jug of liquor. And we got to drinking, and me and him went off to a poker game. And it was about night when I come back, and they had done loaded my feed back on the truck now, and that damn truck, them cattle bodies was up, they had in 100-pound sacks. And that done, when they put all the other stuff in there with that hay and corn that I carried up there, there's about a ton of it. But they done loaded on my truck. And I done got drunk. And I was coming home and up there where Robert put him there that now. Pope Damage was living there then. And coming down that hill, right in that flat down there, I must have been driving 60 miles an hour or more. I run off on the shoulder, the left shoulder of the road. And the old truck door, if you didn't slam it real hard, if you pushed up against it, it'd come open. Well, the wheels that then shoulder of that road was high from up there down the hill, off over in the, down to the lower part of that field. Well, I always figured if what happened when that door come open, I held on to the steering wheel with my right hand, and I fell out. And I was, and the damn truck went back up in the road to see me pulling on that and put it back over on the road. And I was dragging on flat on my back. It's in the winter time, and I had on a overall jacket, a flannel shirt, long handle underwear, and that jacket and almost clothes were rolled up right on the back of my head, and that kept my head off on the asphalt. But man, it just had my naked back was sliding down that asphalt. But I could hear that damn wheel just about that far, it sounded like it's just about that far behind my head. And I had just bought a new pair of blue jean breeches, and I had them scuff in them, and them old trucks then wasn't automatic transmission. They had gear shift in them. And you had 3 clutches, one for brakes, one for low gear, and one for reverse. And when I fell out of that truck, from that cuff of my breeches leg caught on that clutch pedal down there. And that was what was dragging me. And I told myself, if I come out, that truck gonna run over my head. So I was trying to sling myself out from under the truck, and I hit the running board. It had a side, the old trucks had a side step on the side. And I hit that and broke my nose right there. And I slung myself again, and I slung it come loose, but I slung out in the road. The truck, I raised up, and that truck was going down the damn road just like somebody was driving it. Well, up there where Pope Damage lived, where Robert William lives now, the road bends around like that. Well, that's the reason I figured I had to be driving 60 or 70 miles an hour when I fell out of that truck. That truck rolled up that hill, went on up that hill now, and me kicking, trying to get kick the damn thing out of gear. And it went up at the house, the bank was about that high, and there's a wire fence, barbed wire fence there. And that truck went up at the bank, went through that fence, and went close to me at that door yonder to Robert William Poets, Pope Damage's Poets. And when after I got out from under the truck, I looked up there and I remember just as good as this morning. I said, damn if I don't believe it's going home. That thing was going up that road just like somebody was in there driving it. And when it run up there in front of Pope Damage's porch, the damn thing stopped, but the motor was still running. Well, I seen somebody come out with a light, and they flashed the light all under the truck and all over in the truck. But when that thing creamed over there and that threw 4, 5 sacks of that feed off in the gutter. Well, that's one thing. I'd hope to get it back over on the road. That feed on that side come off, and this side was the heaviest. And me holding on to that steering wheel pulled it back in the road. I had a half pint of liquor in my pocket, jacket pocket. Of course, yeah, it got out of my pocket. And so I got up and started walking on up the road. And I got up to that folks' house. And the blood was running down my back. And we switched the truck off. And he told me, he says, come on, says, I'll take you home. He says, some of your boys can come back with me and get your truck. So I got in the truck, he got in his vehicle and come on home. And they wanted to take me to the hospital. I'll be all right, like a trunk fool. I get up in the morning, milk the cows just like I always do. On my floor, she got the car and went to town. She got somebody up at the drugstore and she bought some gauze, bandages, damn ointment stuff to put on my back. And she come back. Of course, I done laying in there up in the floor then. And she took a bed sheet. I don't know if she used a whole sheet or not, but there was about 4 or 5 layers of it. And she made a bandage about that wide, about that long, and she put that thing on the back of mine, up about the top of my shoulders, down to my belt there. Of course, the next morning, that damn thing was stuck. And hell, I couldn't even get off the bed the next morning. I was so sore. So they got me in the car and carried me up there to the hospital. And they carried me back there and put me on the table, lay on my stomach. And that nurse just tucked them, got that adhesive tape off and around the side, and she reached up and got that thing and snatched it off just like pulling down on one. She put off a piece of skin big as my hand. And they said 40% of the skin from my shoulders down to my belt was gone off of my back. Boy, I like to die when she snapped that damn thing off of my back too. It like to kill me. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
I ain't never had nothing hurt me like that. And I told her then, I said, that's the last damn time you will ever take a bandage off of me. Oh no, says, you got to come back in the morning and I got to change it again. I said, damn, that's a joke. I said, I ain't coming back here no more. So when we come back through town, I told my father, I said, if you ain't got all the stuff you need, I said, you get it now while we up there. Because I said, I'm not going back to that damn hospital no more. She went in there and got stuff. Then the next morning, she'd take a pan of warm water and a rag and slap it around on that bandage and get it soaking wet. And it'd come off. But they was 3 weeks I had to sleep on my stomach. I'm gonna tell you, I was lucky. I've been lucky in a heap of ways in my life. And I'm thankful for it. I reckon God's looking out for me. That's probably the same year that John Wright was born. There's a neighbor out of the neighborhood, Robert Bryant. He was an old bachelor, had never been married. And there was a Miss Coleman, was his housekeeper. Well, they was living together, but he called his housekeeper. And she had a boy that was about 17, 18 years old. And he was staying there with her. And there's a fellow, another fellow lived there, Jack McCraney lived there in the community. And we all went around on Saturday, me and Bud and that Coleman boy, and Jack McCraney went down there around, drove a pair of mules to a 2-horse wagon. Well, after we got a bunch of liquor down there, there's a dozen of bootleggers down around a little old place. It wasn't big as Mansfield up here. So we was all drank, coming back in that wagon, drinking, all of us done got drunk. Well, when we got back, we went and Bud mule and wagon. And I lived about 5 me up on that of McMacken trailer from where Bud lived. And when we drove up in the yard, Bud and Jack McCraney, they went over at the well to throw a bucket of water to take a drink. It was in the wintertime, and I had on old cheap raincoat. I had the collar turned up. And me and that Coleman boy was going to take the mules out and put them in the barn. Well, when he went to take the mules out, you know, when you're plowing, you got 2 lines on you. You come through the hames, them rings on your hame. Well, what we do when we go quit plowing, bring the mule to the house, we fold that line up and run it through that ring and hang it over the top of the hang up there. Well, that inside line on the mule he was taking out was gone. And he told me, he said, Bud's gonna raise hell when he found out that we lost the plow line. I said, well, there's nothing you can do about it. And Miss Coleman had gone down over to my house. And she usually kept a flashlight under her pillow. But she carried that flashlight, evidently she went over there after dark. But she had a pistol and she left that pistol under the pillow. That boy, he's drunk. And he went and he says, let me go in the house and get the flashlight. Mama's flashlight says, it may be that fellow out in the yard. He went there and got the flashlight and come back out there. And when he undone that pillow, he didn't get no flashlight because the flashlight wasn't under there, but he got the pistol. And he come back out there. I says, where's your flashlight? He says, Mama must have it with us. Said, well, it wasn't under there. And I don't know, he is drunk. All at once that damn pistol said, bow! 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 And goddamn, I fell down, but I didn't feel no damn bullet. And Bud and Jack come running out and said, what in the hell is going on here? And I told him, I said, that damn fool's drunk. And I said, he's shooting right at me. I could see every time he'd shoot, I could see that damn flame of fire come out of that pistol barrel coming right straight towards me. And there's a big wood pile out there. And that boy run out Right there, we thought he hid in that wood pile. But he was about 6 miles from there to where his folks, some of his folks lived, his grandparents. And he carried that pistol on, went on down there to his granddaddy. We didn't see him no more that night. And I said, I don't think he hit me. I said, I ain't felt nothing. But I said, damn, he was shooting right straight towards me. And we went in the house and lit a lamp. And one of them damn bullets went through that coat collar there. And the other two went right under my left arm out through that raincoat. He shot 3 times. One damn bullet, I had that collar on that raincoat turned up. One of the bullets went through that damn collar. And the other 2 went through that raincoat right under my left
What was he?
arm.
Why was he shooting at you?
He was drunk. I don't know whether he even seen me or not. But anyway, about a week after that, his car drove up down the yard one night, just after dark, and that boy and his uncle and aunt, and they'd come back about to get his clothes, and the Bud Bryants had a reputation of being the meanest man in Dodge County. He killed numbers of people, been in prison for time for murder. And they were scared to go over there. And they stopped at my house and wanted me to go over there with them. So I got in the car and went on over there with them. And the boy apologized. Well, we was all drunk. And he got his clothes. But I'm gonna tell you, there's somebody in the dark shooting right straight towards you and shoot 3 times and 2 of them bullets missed you as close as them 3 missed me. All 3 of them. One of them went through my damn raincoat collar and the other one went right under my left arm there. If he'd had that, put on that pistol around that much further, he'd hit me with all 3 of them.
Yep. Yep.
When I was about 18 years old. I was about 17 years old. I was working with Judson Nails. We had moved from Dodge County. That was before I was married. I was just a young boy. And every time I go to bed now, I think about Judson is living in the house with him and his wife, and they had one little kid. And he was living in the house with old man Nams, his daddy. It's a big old house. I bet you that house is as old as me out Johnston Road. There's a long hall went down there. And there's a kitchen down here and a 5-room over yonder on that side of the hall. And every night we hand milked cows. And back then, when they bottled the milk at the barn in pint and quart bottles, and you went around a milk route, you went around and you, Judson would be driving the truck and he'd catch the damn houses on that side and I'd catch the ones on this side. And some of the houses you'd leave the milk on the porch, some you'd have to take it in the house and put it in the ice box and pick up the empty bottles. Anyway, reason I think about it every night when I go to bed, and especially in the winter when it's cold. Back then we didn't wear flannel underwear like people wear now, like I wear. You had, you remember when people used to wear BVDs?
Yeah.
I ain't sold no BVDs in years, but they was just about like sheet cloth. They was just, it wasn't flannel. Well, there was a cold winter. I mean, it was freezing cold most of the time. And we'd sit down in that 5-room till bedtime, till we'd get ready to go to bed. Then I got to go way up that hall down and go in that cold room and get in there between two sheets. And I'm telling you, it'd be just like getting in a tub of ice water when you get in there. I bet you it'd take me an hour to quit shaking. And every night that I go to bed, I think about when I used to have to go up that hall and get in that damn cold bed by myself. And, but anyway, we was taking the milk, running the milk out one morning. And there's a Southern Express truck. And I don't know whether it's Judson's fault or the truck, but anyway, that truck was coming down this way, and we run out in front of it, and he hit that truck on the side that I was sitting on. And it didn't break my hip, but it fractured it. And there was three of us in the truck, and the Dobbs, my stepmother's brother, was sitting in the middle. He went up there for something that morning. And they got me out of there. And it was gonna call herself, gonna get me down to a doctor's office. And I got about 30 minutes down the road, and I reckon I fainted. But anyway, I just passed out. I was walking. I was hurting so bad. And the next thing I knowed, I was in the hospital. Well, I stayed in the hospital for about 4 or 5 weeks. 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. And I got out and I hopped around a few days. And so I decided I'd go back to work. And the first morning I went back around on the route. Judson had some customers on that side of the road and some on this side, and I carried his milk in there. And that woman, she said, "Lord of mercy," says, "here you are back in." Says, "I thought you was gone." Says, "Where you been so long?" And I told him that I'd been in the hospital. I told her I got hurt on the truck wreck. And she kept asking me, she asked me a bunch of questions. And the next morning, when I carried the milk in there, she says, "Have you thought about suing the railroad?" And I said, "No, I didn't give it no thought." She said, "Well, my oldest son has just finished law school. He says he's never had a case in court. But says, I was talking to him yesterday about what you told me, and he told me he felt like you was entitled to some compensation." So the next morning when I went to get milk in there, she went to ask me a bunch more questions. And she says, "He wants to talk to you." He says, "Could you give him about 10 or 15 minutes in the morning?" Says, "He'll be here." I told her, I said, "Well, yeah," I said, "I think I could manage it that way." I said, "Mr. Neville could go on up the street a piece and get to both sides and come back and pick me up." So the next morning that young lawyer was in there, and he kept asking me questions. And of course I didn't have nothing to pay him with. And I asked him, I said, what about the pay? I said, "No, I ain't gonna be able to pay you." He said, "I'll tell you what I'll do." He said, "I'll take the case and says if we get anything, we'll split it 50-50. If we don't get nothing, says you don't owe me nothing." And I told him, I said, "Well, okay, that'd be fine with me." So wasn't a short while after that till I quit that job, and I had an uncle and aunt lived in Gastonia, North Carolina. And I went to work up at Porterdale Cotton Mill. No, that's before I went to work at Cotton Mill. But anyway, I quit that job and went up to my aunt, my daddy's sisters, Aunt Lena Bates. And, but I'd give this lawyer my daddy's address. When I was working with Judson, on weekends I'd come home. And I'd been working up at, I went up there and went to work at Low Rig Cotton Mill up at Gastonia. And I'd been working up there 2 or 3 weeks, and I got a letter. My daddy had given this lawyer, he'd contacted my daddy, and my daddy told him where I was at. I got this letter from him. He told me to meet him at the courthouse in Atlanta Monday morning at 10 o'clock. So we'd get paid. It was said that we worked 5.5 days a week, and it was said that 10 we'd get paid. But cotton mill, old cotton mills, they'd hold back the first week you worked. This week you get paid for last week's, and they'd hold back the last week you worked. They held that back. So I got on the train and went up to, and come back to Atlanta when I got this letter. I got on the train and come back to Atlanta. Now come back to my daddy's. Monday morning we were up at the courthouse. I'd see this guy's lawyer 2 or 3 times every day. Once in a while he'd come by and ask me how I was doing. And so that one, we stayed up there every day for about a week, close to a week. And he come back there one morning, one day. He said, well, he says, I got a proposition I want to put to you. He says, the railroad has offered to compromise for $1,000. He says, that would be $500 for me and $500 for you. And he says, we can take that and drop it, or we can go on and try to get more. He says, we may get more and we may not get nothing. Well, I've thought about it a million times since then. $500 seemed like a damn fortune to me. Because I don't think I'd ever had over $10 in my life at one time. So I told him, I said, well, I says, I'm willing to take the $1,000, $500 a piece. He says, well, he says, it's up to you now, whatever you want to do. He says, we may get more, we may not get nothing. But he says they've offered to compromise for drop charges for $1,000. Well, that guy give me $500 in cash money. I've never seen a paper nor nothing. That joker might have got $10,000. And why my daddy let me do this, I'll never understand. Why he let me. I ain't seen nothing. All I done, I signed some papers. But he gave me $500 in cash money. Well, boy, I put that money in my pocket. I went back to Gastonia, and there was a fellow, James McCrae, lived right across the street from where my aunt lived. And me and him had got to be big buddies. I never did go back to Cotton Mill.
You didn't need to work no more.
Me and him left Gastonia hitchhiking there. And we were scared somebody might rob us. So we'd take that money and put it in our shoes. He'd put part of it in his shoes, and I'd put part of it in my shoes. and we keep just a few dollars in our pocket. And boy, every swimming pool we come to, that's next spring, up in the spring. The next this swimming pool we come to, we rent us a bathing suit, and we'd spend at least 2 hours in that pool. But we hitchhiked from Gastonia to Greensboro, North Carolina. And we went to Baltimore, Maryland. And then we went back to Virginia. We hitchhiked 6 months.
Oh, $500.
And the one I remember now, yeah, maybe I would be ashamed to tell this. But we was going out from leaving from Greensboro, North Carolina. And we was going to High Point. Well, there's a big furniture manufacturing place where they make furniture at High Point, North Carolina. And this man, James, was about a year younger than I was, James McCrae was. I was about 17 years old and he was about 16. This man stopped and picked us up. Well, we just bought us some breakfast. And he got to question us about where we was going. Oh, we told him we was orphans. And we was hunting a job. So when he got into High Point, he gave us 50 cents a piece and stopped in front of an eating place. And then you could buy big sandwiches for 50 cents. And, hell, we didn't want nothing to eat. We done eat. I spent between all that, what we had spent of that $500 was probably more than he had. But anyway, we went right inside the door and we dropped that 50 cents in our pockets and we watched him. He told us, he said, now, y'all don't leave this place now. He says, I got a friend of mine, is foreman down in a furniture plant. And he says, I'm pretty sure I can get you boys a job in there, working under him. He says, y'all wait right here now till I come back. So we just went inside the door and watched out the window until when he drove off, we took out window, took off down the damn street. Now that's that damn dirty people can get. That damn, they give us, picked us up, rode us 20 miles or more. Give us 50 cents a piece, and then we lied to him like that.
Yeah.
What was that about when you went on a Sunday, you wanted to buy something to eat and they wouldn't sell it to you or something? What was that thing about same time on a Sunday you went to some store and they wouldn't sell you something to eat?
Yeah, that was right after we left from Gastonia. Not long after we left from Gastonia. We was hitchhiking and we was going up one road and we stopped at this place and the man told us, he says, "Oh, go take the next road to the right." And says, if you go, we told him we was going to Baltimore, Maryland. And he says, that's a stairway over there. Says it's about 5 miles over there. He says, y'all get away and says you can probably catch a road right into Baltimore. So we took that right hand road. We got away about a mile, maybe a half a mile from the road. And that was the foot of this mountain, and one road went around this way, and one went around this way. Well, it looked like the most traffic had been going this way. And I told James, I says, he didn't tell us which way did we go when we got to this foot of this mountain and this road fork. But I said, looked like the most of the traffic went around this way. I said, let's go this way. So we went on around that way. And if we'd have went the other way, we found out later it wouldn't have been but a little ways, a mile or so, to where this road he was talking about, but going this way, we had to go all the way around that damn big mountain. I think we went 10 miles. Well, that night, when night called us, this is up in the spring then. Well, when night we was there, when night come, we'd get outside on the road under some bushes. We had a pair of overalls and a blue shirt, and had dress pants and dress shirt. But at night, in the morning we'd pull them overalls and blue sandal shirts off and put them in a sack, tote them. And at night we'd put them back on and tie a handkerchief around our ears, keep bugs out of our ears. So we slept at the foot of a mountain. And we hadn't had nothing to eat all day. We stopped one time and got some water. And I thought this woman was sitting down. She said, there's a nigger woman. There's a poet's and a dug well out there in the yard. And we asked if we could get a drink of water, and she told us, yeah. And we started back towards the wheel, and she said, wait a minute now, I'll get y'all a glass to drink out of. And I turned around, and when she come back out there kissing, that little woman wasn't that high. She was a little dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
And she told us about how far we'd have to go around to get on that road. And we went on around their ways, and it's on Sunday morning. And so when we got off on this dirt road onto this hardtop road, we didn't go further till there's a store on the left. And I told James, I said, damn, I said, yeah, there's a sign there. I said, maybe we can get something to eat here. And we went in there, and the door was locked. I went there and hollered and knocked on the door, and this nigger preacher, he come out. And this nigger come out. Said he was a preacher. And I told him, I said, we want to get something to eat. He says, this is the Sabbath, and says, I don't open the store on Sunday. I said, I'm sorry, but said, I don't open the store on Sunday. What you got?
Got something to eat.
Eat and just a day. And that was way up 10 o'clock that morning. On Sunday morning. I said, we hungry, we need something to eat. I'm sorry, but said, I don't open the store on the Sabbath. He says, I'm fixing to go to church, because I'm a pastor of church down the road, way. I said, but we want something to eat now. I says, all I'm asking you to do, I says, we got money to pay for it with. And I said, all I'm asking you to do is open the store and let us get some crackers and maybe a Coca-Cola and some kind of canned goods that we can eat. But he said, I don't open the store on Sunday. He says, the Sabbath is holy. I said, well, now, what you rather do? Open that store and let me come in there and buy something and me pay you with the money. Or wait till you leave and me break that door open and go in there and get me something to eat. Now, I said, which would be the worst? He studied a little bit. He said, well, he said, you say you got the money to pay for it with? And I pulled $1 or $2 out of my pocket, showed it to him. I said, yeah. I said, all I want, I said, is something to eat. I said, I don't want to bother you and I don't want to do no harm, but I said, we got to have something to eat. And I said, if you leave here and go to church, I said, we're going to break in that door and get us something to eat. And he had us come up there at the porch now, we had to get kneel down and he prayed for us before he'd open that door. He prayed for forgiveness for us and him too. And finally though he opened the door and we went down and we got 2 glass bottles of Coca-Cola, and I told him, I said, we'll leave your bottles out here on the porch. I said, we'll eat it out here with the road. We got some canned stuff, I don't know, probably sardines or potted meat or something else. And I paid him for the stuff and we got Right out there to eat it, broke the bottles back up there and set them on the porch. You know, then you'd have to put up a deposit for bottles, glass bottles. You carried them all. And Daddy, on my daddy's side, was Robert Littleton. Robert Littleton Johnston. R.L. Johnston. And my daddy was John William Johnston. And my grandma, Johnston, she was a Barker. She was Fanny Barker before she married. And my grandpa Lloyd, my mama's daddy, was named Players Bryant Lloyd. And that's where I got my name. I was named after both of my granddaddies, Robert Bryant. Grandpa Johnston was Robert Littleton, and Grandpa Lloyd was Players Bryant. And they named me Robert Bryant.
That's when Jimmy got his Bryant.
And
Gang.
that's about as far back as I can do anything about it. And I never have known where none of them come from. But now my grandma Lloyd was Henderson, before she married. And she had a brother, Charlie Henderson, and a brother named Alf Henderson, and Tony Henderson. She had 3 brothers. And I think my mama's folks, I think they come from Ireland, migrated from Ireland here. And I never have I don't know that for a fact, but I think I don't know where I got to thinking that, but I think they was migrated from Ireland here. And my grandpa Johnston, wherever they come from, but there was 3 brothers, and some of them settled up there, somewhere up there in North Carolina. There's a Johnston town.
Johnston County too.
Johnston.
There's a Johnston County too.
Johnston County, yeah. And I've always figured that was one of my granddaddy's brothers that settled up there. And I think the other ones settled in Virginia somewhere. And see, my grandpa Lloyd, I don't know whether he had any brothers or not. If he did, I don't remember.
Tell about when you were young and they raised you, because one thing I wanted you to talk about is when you sleep in the corn crib.
Yeah, my mama, she was afflicted. You don't ever hear nothing about it now, but back then she had a disease they called pellagra. You ever hear of it? You don't ever hear of nobody.
They cured it. There's all it is a some kind of mineral deficiency, and they just give that mineral, and there's no such thing anymore.
That's what she died from. We call it pellagra.
And that could have been cured very easily even if they'd have just known. But yeah.
And she died the 28th of July before I was 8 years old, 12th of September. And after she died, I was just like a damn rabbit. Wherever night caught me, that's where I stayed. I might be here at one of my uncles tonight. I may be 5 miles over yonder somewhere. We live up there in Newton County. Between Mansfield and Covington, along in that area in there. Next night I may be 3 or 4 miles back over yonder somewhere. Didn't nobody know where in the hell I was at except for the ones that I was spending the night with. And that's wherever I was at, and then when the epidemic of flu hit this country, me and Ted Bates, I got to knowing him, and well, his mama was dead, and my Aunt Lena, one of my daddy's sisters, she married Hugh McCord, and he was dead, and Aunt Lena and Ted's daddy, Sam Bates, married. And me and him was, but Daddy and Sam farmed together one year. That's when I was 9 years old. And it was all in the fall of the year, and me and Ted went down on Bear Creek and set out some bank hooks. And when we come back to the house, there wasn't a damn thing in the house. They had moved to the Porterfield. But my daddy and one of Sam's brothers was up in North Carolina working at a logging camp. And next morning we went to them hooks. We slept in that old house that night. And got some old cotton bagging and all else they're fixing a bed to something to lay on. And next morning we went down to them hooks and we caught 2 or 3 catfish about that long. Well, we brought them to the house and didn't have no damn way of cooking them. But we skinned them, dressed them, and got an old tin bucket. Fill that bucket full of water and put them damn catfish in there and no salt, and pepper and nothing. And boil them. And we eat them. And they wouldn't be cooked all the way to the bone. When we'd eat the cooked part off down, we'd put them back in that bucket and boil them some more. And we'd eat down to that. And I'm going to tell you something, mister. People that live around there, they better not leave home. They better not go to church on Sunday and leave home. Did when they got back, there wouldn't be a damn egg in the damn. They wouldn't get that egg that day. And if they were left home, if we didn't get no eggs, if we could catch a chicken or 2, we done that. Joe Bennett run a store over there, and we'd take them eggs over there and swap them for something to eat. Chickens, anything. And old man Joe Bates, Ted's uncle, his daddy's brother, he lived right above Gates' church. And they'd go to church on Sunday. And me and Ted would go over there, and back then nobody didn't lock no barns and doors and we'd go in and take 2 gunner sacks. And we'd fill them sacks just as full of ear corn as we could tote. And we took them off down there and hide them side the road. Well, it's about 2 or 3 miles over at that store. And one of my daddy's brothers, Uncle Troy, they lived up pretty close. And Benny Johnston, granddaddy's brother, Benny Johnston, he was a McMichael, but they adopted him. I've wondered about that all of my adult life. Uncle Frank's first wife was named Trudy, and she must have married a McMichael first. And when they separated, Uncle Frank and Aunt Trudy must have adopted Benny. But they know it was stealing this corn now. And then they they was up grown and they had mules and buggies and they charged us half of what we got for that corn for carried over that store and sell it to us. We'd probably have a bushel. If corn was 80 cents a bushel, they'd get 40 cents and we'd get 40. And when that epidemic of flu hit this country, every family, somebody in that family was being with flu. And they didn't know, the doctors didn't know nothing about treating flu. And people were dying like flies. And me and Ted, where Ted's grandma lived, with Sherry Ann Bates, there's old house, out about 30 minutes down the Robbie's from there. They called it the fodder house. Back then people pulled fodder tied up in bundles to feed mules. Well, that's where we slept most of the time after that epidemic of flu. And we'd go to somebody's house thinking they was going to maybe let us spend the night. And we'd go out there and cut a big pile of stove wood and firewood and put it on the porch. They'd give us something to eat and tell us we'd be glad for y'all to ask y'all for y'all to spend the night with us. But says, we got sick folks and neighbors, some youngsters setting up with them, we just ain't got room for you. And we wind up sleeping in that damn old fodder house. And the thing is, it's just a one room thing about big as this, the room here. And if the moon and stars shining, you could lay in there and look at it, you could see the stars twinkling between the cracks in that roof. And if it rained, that water come down. And if we were sleeping in there and it'd come a rain, we'd keep, when it rained, it'd keep trickling down on it, we'd work our way down deep under that fodder. By the next morning, we'd be down to the floor. And I woke up a million night and the damn rats would be gnawing over eating my fingernails. They do that for the calcum. That's the reason you don't ever find no deer antlers in the woods. As many deers is shot and wounded and goes off and dies, you don't ever find no deer horns in the woods. Unless that deer's just been killed in the last a day or two. Those damn old rodents eat them antlers up for the calcum. I woke up a million night and damn rats be gnawing on my fingernails. Toenails. But mostly if I had my shoes off, it was summertime. But if it was winter time, I would pull my shoes off sleeping in that fodder house. It was right after my mama died. Well, this was long about the same time that I was telling you about that we'd steal them chickens and things. And my daddy, he had come back from up in North Carolina. And one of Ted's uncles, Algie Bates, lived there in the community. And we went over there one morning. We slept in that fodder house. And we went over there, my daddy and Jim Bates. They were big, good friends. But Jim and my daddy was up at logging camp up in North Carolina at the same time. And we talked them out of giving us 50 cents a piece. But I told Ted the night before that, I said, I ain't sleeping in this fodder house no more. I said, this last night I'm gonna sleep in this place. And we after they give us that 50 cents a piece, we left at about 10 miles to Covington and 3 miles in from Covington over to Porterville. And my daddy he had come back and he had bought old T-model Ford and had been running a taxi from Covington to Porterdale. He charged people, take them back and forth. He run 3 miles. He charged them about 15, 20 cents. And we was going up, hitchhiking up to Covington. And if we heard a car coming, instead of us trying to catch a ride, we'd jump out on the bank and hide. Because we thought it might be my daddy. And we got up at Covington, and I've thought about this all of my adult life. And we still, we had stopped up at a nigger store, old Gus Belcher was his nigger, and bought a sack of Bull-Durham smoking tobacco, penny box of matches, and some leaves cigarette leaves come with the bag with the tobaccos in it. That was in a sack, a cloth bag about that long. And we'd been up, been smoking all the way up to Covington. And we decided we was going on our way to Porterdale. And we stopped in this store just out the edge of Covington there. And I don't know, we might have been planning on stealing something in there. Anyway, we was just walking around there looking. And this man, he come in there, I read he looked to be 40 years old. And he may turn around 2 or 3 times and fell right flat of his back. And the guy that was over behind the counter, he come running around there and got down there and went to road him. He says he's dead. And me and Ted took off. Boy, we got out of there. And this man run out the door and went to hollering. I reckon the man must have been dead, but I've thought about it all the time. I wonder if he just done that to scare the hell out of us and get us out of there without running us off. But anyway, we went on over to Porterdale. And when Frank White had moved from down there close to Farrah up Porterdale, and he had a girl named Lily, and the oldest boy was named Milton, and they was working, and another boy named Walker, and they was working in the cotton mill, and he had